Prime Minister Netanyahu has encountered disruptions from family members of hostages that are being held in Gaza as he speaks during a special parliamentary session. While protesting, the families were holding posters and signs with their loved ones' names and photos on it. The families vocalized their dissent by shouting, "There is no time." Netanyahu resumed, only to be met with chants of "now, now, now" from the families. Netanyahu also conveyed his determination by conveying that our sons did not die in vain. We must not stop the war until we secure victory over those who wish us dead. Meanwhile, my colleague Brian Thomas joins us on the broadcast to give us the latest update on this. Brian, over to you. What more details can you share with our viewers?
Well, Asavri, during a special, parliamentary session, Prime Minister Netanyahu faced disruption from, family members of hostages that were held in Gaza, who voiced their dissent through protest. Even the families, they were holding, posters and signs that adorned with their loved ones' names and photos, and even vocalized their grievances, shouting that there is no time. And even despite attempts to resume his speech, also Netanyahu was met with persistent chants of "now, now, now" from the impassioned, families. And amidst these interruptions, also Netanyahu emphasized the determination, determination by asserting that, quote unquote, he says that our sons did not die in vain, and to the fact that we must not halt the war until we have achieved victory over those who wish us dead, said by Netanyahu. And his stance also reflected a commitment to continue the conflict until securing what he deemed as a definitive triumph against the adversaries, posing a threat to the nation. And this tense, atmosphere also, during the parliamentary session definitely underscored the emotional turmoil and urgency felt by these families of the hostages, amplifying the gravity of the situation. Yes, Asabri, back to you.
Right, absolutely, Brian. With that, I'd like to thank you for joining us on the broadcast and sharing those details with our viewers. Meanwhile, Mr. Sanjeev Srivastav, international affairs expert, is still with us on the broadcast. So, of course, Benjamin Netanyahu faced chants of "now, now, now" from the family members of hostages held in Gaza. But, of course, he has affirmed that we must not stop the war until we secure victory over those who wish us dead. So, of course, what he is in fact stating is, and in fact what we do understand from this is that this war is going to continue to protract until and unless Israel gets what they want. But over to you, what do you want to say on this?
Well, Asavri, this concerns and the kind of worries of the family members of the hostages are very genuine, and I think that is very well understood. And but at the same time, it is also important to realize and understand that how important it is for Israel to win this war against terrorism, this war against Hamas. And I think this war will continue, and that's what the resolve and the determination has been demonstrated time and again by the Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister, and the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, because the imperatives are quite clear. That if Hamas remains intact in Gaza, if Hamas does not get defeated in this war, then they will come up with a bigger conspiracies against Israel, and there could be many more Israeli lives lost in the future attacks. And in one day alone, more than 1,400 people were butchered, and a similar kind of attacks might be carried out by Hamas in future if they remain intact in Gaza. It will also embolden other terrorist organizations such as Hezbollah and Houthi and others to come up with similar attacks on Israel, and they will do it with impunity. They will have the assessment that nothing will happen to them even if they carry out such attacks on Israel. So Israel will have to demonstrate that such attack is not acceptable, and for that there is a heavy price, and Hamas in that process must be defeated and must be punished for the crimes they have committed on October 7. So I think Israel imperatives are very clear, and that's why Israel will fight this war. But at the same time, Benjamin Netanyahu has been saying from day one that this is going to be a long war. It will be a long drawn process because this war is not a simple war. It is being fought in the urban areas, in built-up areas, and the wars in built-up areas are always very, very difficult. And at this point of time, Israel is now going to be focusing on southern Gaza too, where the population density has gone very, very high because of the relocation of the people of Gaza from northern areas to southern areas. And now Israel will have to carry out their operation in a low-intensity manner, in a surgical strike mode, based on hard intelligence only. So I think all these processes and hostage crisis is very much there. And though some of the hostages have been released, many of them are still in the Hamas's captivity. So pressure has to be also built on Hamas so that they come up with the plans to release those hostages. And also at the same time, regional escalation has also to be prevented of this conflict. So I think this war is a complex war. And Israel's imperatives are quite clear. But yes, as I said in the beginning, that the concerns of the family members of the hostages are very well understood, and their worries are very well understood. And when they are saying now, I think they are making a lot of pressure on Israeli defense forces and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And I think that will go on. But Israel is fighting a difficult war that has also to be understood by the Israeli people and particularly the family members, those who are demonstrating.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.